Is it actually possible to make $50,000 a month as a developer? What would you actually have to do to make that happen? It's not what you think. It's not just like getting jobs and then hoping you end up in, I don't know, like Google, and then you end up having one of their top paying jobs out there. It's not like this. I wouldn't do it that way. It is possible to get paid 50K a month working in a company like Google as a developer, but the odds of that are much, much lower than if you do something else. And in this video, I'm going to cover what that something else is without having to be in the top 0.0001% of developers. So we're going to cover what to do to get to 50K a month as a developer in the real world without relying on mostly luck and like insane intelligence, being a genius. And some of you might be a genius, you still might be interested in this, which is okay. Like, it's perfectly fine path. In fact, I think this is better than any job. So why am I qualified to talk about this? Well, I've been working with developers and helping them get clients and grow a business for the last 11 years, and we were quite successful at this. In fact, I have a whole playlist below with people that I've worked with and I'm currently working with, and I interviewed them and I talked to them about how they did it. So if you want to go watch that, it's in the description. So how do you actually do this? How do you go from I am a developer and I know some stacks and I've had some jobs, I'm pretty good at my job. How do you go from that to making 50K a month? Because the difference is significant. Most developers, they get paid between $2,000 and $20,000 a month, and that's not working at the very biggest FANG corporations like Facebook, Google, and so on. So at those corporations, a little bit more. But most developers, they get paid within that range, and that includes very high-end developers, people who are in the top 0.1%. So how do you get beyond this? There's 3 general steps you need to take. 1, actually becoming a developer, learning technical skills. 2, becoming a freelancer and getting projects. And 3, stop selling your fucking time. Selling your time is one of the worst ways to do this, to get to 50K per month, selling your time. It is very, very difficult. I do not recommend it at all. So I'm going to teach you how to get to the freelancer stage, assuming you're already a developer, and then how to make it into a business. Now, we're not talking about the type of business where you like build an app and then hope people download the app and then go to people who buy these apps and then try to sell this app and then work for the company that got bought. Like, I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about bootstrapping a business, bootstrapping a service business, and it's way more accessible to most people, and the success rate is way higher than trying to build an app and trying to get users on it. So let's talk about this. Becoming a freelancer. The best way to become a freelancer after you already have a set of skills, after you are a successful developer, is to go to freelancing websites like Upwork and Fiverr. And people are going to say, this is a terrible place, don't go there, it's cheap project, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there are cheap projects. And if you do it the normal way, it is quite terrible for most people. And that's why most videos are complaining about it on the internet. However, there's definitely good leads on there. And if you know what you're doing and if you're putting in the effort, you can get those good leads that are paying 5 and 6 figures for custom development projects. These are people who go on Upwork.com and Fiverr.com. They want to do a $20,000, $100,000 project based on what their business needs. They're not people who are in their basement, they have some random idea and they want to build an app. They're people who already have a business and they want to build something in the business. Now, there's this whole way of thinking. There's this fear of AI. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared that the AI is going to replace us all. I think this is intellectually lazy. AI is not going to replace us all. AI doesn't know what to do or how to do it or why it wants to do anything. It's not this conscious being. It's just a tool. So the good developers that I know that are ultra efficient, they use AI, but they use AI to be 2 or 3 times more efficient or effective in their job or in their business. They don't use AI as a way to, it's going to replace everything. It's going to replace people who are lazy and who don't create stuff quickly, who don't use AI. I hire developers all the time, and when I hire developers, there's a question, do you use AI or are you open to using AI to speed up the process? And if they say no, I'm like, very suspicious of that person, because how can you say no? It's you have to do it these days. And it is going to get more and more important. It multiplies the amount of work you can do as a developer. That being said, how do you get those contracts on the freelancing platforms? So on the freelancing platforms, the number 1 rule is volume. On Upwork.com, you want to be sending 15 proposals a day, no matter what, which costs money. You have to put in money into the platforms. And the platforms are going to allow you to contact potential leads, potential clients, and then you need to get on a call with them, figure out, is this person sane? Do I want to work with that person? And can I do the project? And are they going to be able to pay me for the project properly? And if yes, you send them a deal. Here's a link, like pay me, they pay you, and then you go from there. So that's becoming a freelancer. It's almost like having a job, but you need a new job every so often. The advantage of this is you can charge more than a job. It's not the hourly rate from your job. It's not like $45 an hour. It's more like $80 to $120 an hour. But you're still selling your time. So the upgrade to this is building a business, building a dev agency. To build a dev agency, you're doing basically the same thing in terms of getting the leads and getting a call with them and so on. However, you're not coding all day long. You can code sometimes, 20% of the time you can code. But the idea is you hire developers, especially you can outsource developers and manage them in countries where it's cheaper to hire developers. And then they do the majority of the coding. You do the code review, you can do architecture, you can train them, you can do all kinds of stuff. But you're not sitting there coding all day. You'll be running an agency. So for this, you're closing clients. The clients are paying for time of your team, from your developers, and then you sell their time to the clients. If you do it that way, it's scalable because you have a finite amount of hours in a day, and a team does not, because you can have a big team and you can just hire people when you want more contracts to be done. Anyone who's ever run a business will tell you this is not infinitely scalable, but you can get to 150K per month doing this. 150K per month. And yes, I promised 50K, but actually you can get to 150K. I've seen people get to 450K. They have a whole office of people and developers are sitting there all day getting a salary, and their time is being sold at triple the salary basically. So the profit margin is very nice. So you can do this. This is possible. It's a viable business model. There are even bigger companies that do this than 450K per month or 150K per month. But, like I don't recommend growing past 150K per month because it just becomes a jungle and it's not really scalable. Now you want to talk about apps, building products. That comes after you can build an agency like this. If you can get an agency to 150K per month, yes, you can start building tools and then selling the tools and that kind of stuff. But in the beginning, you just run the business. You run a low risk business, which is an agency, to get experience, to get a team, to get money, and then you can build products. I do not recommend building products if you can't even build an agency, because it's just easier to build an agency, less investment requirement, and fewer skills, and so on. So that's the general plan. Below, there's a list of videos in a playlist on how to get started on the freelancing platforms. If you're interested in this, go to the description, click on the video. And also, I'm available at businessmeta.com. It's my website, so just go there. If you're interested in talking to me directly, we can go to businessmeta.com and book a call. So I'll see you in the videos below in the description.